He's cute. URL Radio, the more hits we play, the more hits we get. The cute Mike Hain and the adorable Daisy Sturham.
Oh, you're so wonderful, Mike.
Oh,
So precious.
thank you.
But actually, you weren't talking about me.
No.
You were talking about Shannon Hoon, the lead
Yeah.
singer of Blind Melon. When we went on the air, you're like, he's so cute.
He's cute. He's a cutie.
Oh.
But he's a dead cutie.
Yeah, he
That's a bummer.
overdosed.
I know.
Sad story.
Whenever I hear that song, I always think of my best friend Cindy.
Yeah?
She turned me on to that song.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. When we were living in Hawaii.
It's happy.
It is.
It's a happy tune.
It is.
And I played it because we are not going to get bad weather this week.
Really?
I played that song. So no bad weather.
There you go. you've gotten rid of the bad juju.
I did a little hexing spell on it.
Ooh.
Yeah, no rain. No
Speaking
snow,
of
no
hexing
nothing.
spells.
Yeah, hey, on the phone with us now, we have Bill Bean. And I'm really excited for this interview today.
Yeah,
It's
I
gonna
am
be
too.
good. He's a nationally known author and lecturer. He's survived evil and starred in a Discovery Channel broadcast about his story on the series A Haunting. Have you ever seen those where they preview
Oh,
haunted
all the
houses?
time. Oh, yeah.
Love it.
I have to watch
So
those.
actually, I saw Bill's story.
You did?
I did. I think this was last year or the year before. And his segment was called House of the Dead.
You know what? I probably saw that too,
You
but I
probably
didn't
did,
realize
and
it was
you just
Bill.
didn't realize
Yeah.
it. But and it was one of the most watched segments that they've ever had. So,
Wow.
so we would like to welcome to the program Bill Bean. Hello, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Hi, Stacy. Hi, Mike. Thank you guys so much for having me on. It's an honor and a pleasure to be on with you.
Oh, we are really excited to have you on. Tell us a little bit now. Was your story on the Discovery Channel? Was it last year or was it the year before? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was the year before. It actually
Yeah.
it was September 7th, 2006. And so it was actually the year before that. It's
Yeah.
amazing how fast time goes now.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just been tremendous. Really, really was a blessing. I kind of took issue a little bit with some of the information. It wasn't accurately portrayed, and I'm grateful to Discovery Channel and New
Yeah.
Dominion Pictures for airing it. However, I was a little upset that the info wasn't accurate. So if you read Dark Force, you will see some big differences. And
because
I'm sorry to say.
I read the PDF that you sent me of the book, and I have to say, and I'm not just saying it because we're interviewing you today, but I started it this morning in between breaks on our morning program, and I honestly had a hard time stopping. I had a hard time ripping myself away for lunch. All of a sudden, I had 15 minutes to get home for lunch, and you'll find this out too, Bill, once you get to Bismarck. 15 minutes will get you pretty much anywhere in Bismarck, but still, it was like,
great.
yeah, but still, it was like, oh, I've got 15 minutes to get home, and I live way, way south of town, and I've got to hurry up and get home and let the dog out and come back, and but it was a great story.
Thank you so much for taking the time. I really, really appreciate it, and yeah, it's been a blessing. I hear that from people in different parts of the country and even different parts of the world that they say the very same thing, and I'm not saying that to try and sell a book. That's what they're really saying, and
Yeah.
I say it's God-inspired because I never, ever thought that I would be able to write a book,
Right.
let alone have something that people are that interested and drawn to. So it's a real blessing, and I praise God for it.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about your story, Bill?
Sure. The story, now in Dark Forest, I say that the story began in 1970, but quite honestly, it goes back further than that. I believe that something evil attached to my mother's side of the family many, many years ago, and that evil force actually led us to this house in Glen Burnie, Maryland, where evil was already manifested.
Wow.
So I've often said that my family was in the middle of a two-pronged attack from evil, and that's why it was so severe. It greatly contributed to the destruction of my family.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Now,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Stacey.
no. So, and this to let everybody know, this happened in Baltimore. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Okay,
that's where I
all
was
right.
going to go next.
Yeah.
This was a three-bedroom ranch-style home located in Glen Burnie, Maryland, which is just a few miles south of Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
And the house was really semi-dilapidated. My father, who was a very good man, was a master carpenter and just blessed with tremendous skills. And he saw this as a restoration project, and he did. He really did a lot of work and greatly improved the look of the house.
Yeah.
And my first recollections of the house were very frightening ones. You know, I was 4 years old when we moved there, and my first look, I was scared, and I didn't know why.
It's amazing how
later-
smart 4-year-olds are.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah. You knew more than your parents probably, Bill.
Yeah, and it's sad. And again, I don't know. Being 4 years old, I don't know if my parents had discussed anything with the previous owners. I'm sure they didn't. But you know, it's just interesting. I found out information recently that the previous owners had actually, and this sounds so bizarre, and I always wondered, in these homes, that the community is called Herondale, and in the Herondale homes, the walls were very thin. These homes were made in the 40s, and they were military sort of barracks and homes for the returning soldiers, and they were not constructed very well. The walls were very thin, yet in this house, the walls were very, very thick, and it was like the house on the inside was every bit as ominous and foreboding as the outside. It was very dark paneling, dark brown paneling on the walls. Very little light came into the house, even during the day, and these walls were very solid. Well, now I know why, because the previous owners had built walls within the walls of the house.
Wow.
Usually when one does work, they tear out the walls and gut the walls. These people built walls within the walls for some reason.
Wow.
So it was scary more than just the 70s decor, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so right. It magnified past the look of the lime green carpets and sofas and all that stuff of the 70s.
Now, there was something in the book that it sort of stuck with me. You said that you used to call the back, your sister Patty's room, you used to call that the back room. It was never really Patty's room.
Correct. Yeah, that I believe that room was really the portal, the entry, exit for these demonic entities. There's no question about it. I mean, that room was always cold, even in July and August, which those months are extremely hot in Maryland.
Yeah.
That room was always cold, and the door to that room would often open and slam for many repetitions. There would be times of the day that my mother, we were under so much stress, mentally, physically, and spiritually, and there were times of the day when my mother would sit down at the dining room table and she'd just have a cup of tea and just try and have a little bit of peace. None of us slept well at all now.
Yeah.
And that door would begin to open and slam for many repetitions, and to the point to where she was actually snapped and would yell out profanities at the entities to stop. And that's the type of pressure and abuse, physical, mental, and spiritual abuse that we were under.
This kind of haunting, and it actually ripped your family apart. Literally, you guys lost pets.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we've lost many family members and many pets as well. So the pets came under attack as well. And my sister was the first to leave us. She ran away in the middle of the night in 1973. Now, that's another inaccuracy of the haunting show, is they depicted my parents giving her a send-off and things of that nature. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. She ran away in the middle of the night, married a young man in the neighborhood just to get out of there. And she said in the show that she would have married anyone just to get out of the house. She couldn't take it anymore.
God.
So thank God for her. She was spared a lot of the abuse that we went through. And my father was the next to really come under attack. And again, it was so sad to write about my parents because they were good people. They were not religious people. They did believe in God. However, we never once attended church as children. We were not baptized. We didn't have any religious structure at all. But they were good people. And my father was a very hardworking man, very good family man, and my mother was a homemaker. My mother was very ill the entire time we lived in the house. She was suffering from high blood pressure, which led to a series of strokes, which ultimately led to kidney failure. And she couldn't work. And my father's demeanor and character began to change as we got settled into the house, and he went from this man I saw as a heroic type of figure into something else, and he had turned into a raging alcoholic that began to physically abuse my mother from 1973 to 1975, nearly killing her on several occasions. And, based on what I saw, I have no doubt that these demonic entities were actually able to enter him and fuel his rage when he was under the influence of alcohol.
Absolutely.